NIP has always been like this legendary Swedish team. Like even if you don't know Counter-Strike, you kinda know NIP if you're from Sweden.
I looked at the majors and the arenas, and I just love the feeling of only watching it. And now to be playing it, it's a nice feeling.
NIP won DreamHack Masters Malmö 2016. I was in the crowd with my NIP hat cheering, and it was like 2 years later I was playing in NIP at the same stage.
When I got a bit older, like we were on the first and second DreamHack, like majors, when they had that 87-0 streak, like they were, for me, the best team in the world, and it was like they were superstars, and like I wanted to do what they did.
So my first interaction with NIP was actually in 2001. I watched the CPL final between NIP and X3 at that time. This is very, very long ago for most of you people. And I already at that time thought it was so cool that someone could compete and be so good at a video game.
It was like a goal, and it was a team you always looked up to, like Forrest and Eaton and these legendary guys that you wanted to become someday. Like you wanted to, when you wanted to go professional, you looked at these highlights they did every time on 1.6 and.
We knew who NIP was. We were playing Counter-Strikes ourselves and we admired them and they were idols. And that was probably the catalyst for me initially sponsoring NIP through a company that I had, which led to us investing in it later.
So what I remember from my fanboy period growing up was that I was watching every game NIP played with my dad. Every time they had a game, we just like sat down in the sofa, just watched their games. And
of course, it means so much to everyone in the team, and for me as well to represent the team in Stockholm. It's awesome, and it's a little bit terrifying as well because it's been so long. But yeah, I'm totally excited for it to happen.
So watching NIP throughout their entire history, even back to 2001, it's amazing that I now can coach NIP and I would represent them in the biggest CSGO tournament ever in my hometown Stockholm in Globen.
It is like somewhat the stars have aligned to us returning back to LAN somehow. I am super excited to see Globen filled up. I hope we make the playoffs so we can see all those NIP jerseys in the arenas, see the fans and give them something to cheer for on home soil.
Like the feeling that you know that your family is there watching, or your friends and all that.
Like even my grandpa and the grandma watches, so it's, yeah, they would be super, super proud.
Not only do we get the classic crowd buff, most people would probably cheer for us, but also to see all the fans that's been cheering for us throughout the years. Even though we haven't been competing here, they've always been there in the comment sections, they've always been there on social media, and now that we can play in front of them, it's just amazing.
Also because it's the first major for 3 of the guys, right? So it's gonna be a little bit scary for them, I think. When you're in that early stage of your career, you're like trying to avoid getting nervous, and you're like, it doesn't feel so good. When you're in like the stage where I'm in, like you go for that feeling all the time. You just wanna feel uncomfortable and all of that, right? But yeah, it's gonna be so special for them.
I can definitely dream about winning the major. I think we have what it takes to win it. I think we've shown that in Iron Fall.
that felt like, it just felt fucking awesome. And I mean, I couldn't imagine what it would be to win a major.
I always do that. I always dream big, and I always like maybe aim a little bit too high, but that's a good way to kind of like get inspired. There was a lot of promise in the team when I joined. I actually think that some people might not have seen the talent of the guys here. It still feels really good to show that we can actually do some good things together.
Winning this prestigious tournament of this caliber in CSGO, it's not an easy task to do. It's going to be very, very hard to do, but we're in really great shape right now, and if the stars align, I definitely think it could happen.
I was there when we won Malmö, the DreamHack Masters event, and I would imagine that it would be the same feeling but on steroids.